Hey y'all, it's your boy Rico.
And Sam.
And we are going to talk about navigating apps. I would say dating apps, but we're mostly going to talk about Grindr, and that's not really dating. Like, okay, hookup apps.
Yeah.
Hookup apps or dating apps that are mainly, or originally meant for the cis, I would say, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like they started out as definitely mainly for like cis gay men or cis bi men or whatever you want to call it. And they've slowly gotten more inclusive for trans people, I feel.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure it's scary for most trans people to like get an app like this because
It's like you're making yourself vulnerable because you have to tell people that I guess you don't have to tell people you're trans, but it's honestly, I guess, safer to.
Yeah, I mean, if you are at the point in your transition, if you are medically at all, to the point where you don't have to disclose, like, cool, you don't have to. But most of us, I feel like, do have to disclose. I mean, in the end, you're going to have to eventually, maybe. Yeah, so we're going to share our experiences and thoughts and all that on it. I know for myself, before, or maybe as soon as when I was very new onto taking hormones, I told myself, I'm like, Rico, a year on T, you're going to pass and be so comfortable and confident in yourself that you're going to get Grindr, a hookup app for gay men, and you're going to live, and it's going to be cool, and you're going to be seen and feel comfortable, and like gay dudes are going to be into you because they're into dudes, you know what I mean? Yeah. And a year on T, I changed my mind. I think I just wasn't ready. I don't feel like I looked enough like a cis male dude. Not that I was trying to look cis. I don't know, just looking like a dude. I didn't feel comfortable with myself, so I didn't get it. But then one day I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to download it and see my experiences. And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. The people that slid into my DMs, it was never anything like problematic, which was super surprising. I had guys ask pronouns and what terms do you want me to call your junk, and I'm like, wow. I mean, like, they're kind of woke. I was shook. Like, I thought I was gonna be like super aggressive, but I mean, that's just my experience.
Yeah.
I know Sam had a different experience.
My experience on Grindr, I downloaded it knowing full well that I didn't actually intend on hooking up with anybody on Grindr, just because it's not for me. I downloaded it kind of just like out of curiosity and to be able to like figure like just to see how it went, I guess. Mainly to like talk to people and like make friendships and stuff like that. And I honestly I've made a lot of friends with like other trans people or even just like cis men that are woke, as Rico said, and like just wanted to like talk to other trans people. It's honestly been like a huge like networking thing for me for tea time, which Rico thinks is really funny.
I'm a little mad at that. I don't want trade knowing like what the
well,
fuck.
They're not my trade. I'm not hooking up. I've never like mentioned names. I just say, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. Here's my YouTube channel. I talk about trans topics, and it's actually really funny about how many of those people that I've told about my YouTube channel have actually like said, oh, cool, I'm going to go check it out. And then the next thing I know, they're subscribing and watching our videos. And they're telling me that they've learned a lot about trans people. And I think that's great. It's a great networking platform for me, especially in a cis gay male dominated app, to have that opportunity to teach them and have them learn and like learn what's appropriate and how to approach trans people.
Yeah.
So I think that's been great.
Yeah. Funny story. Trade was leaving my place, and he looked over at this. This is in my apartment, and he was like, "Oh, do you do tea time here?" And I was like, "Do you know what that is?" He's like, "No." And he left, and I was shook. I was like, "Fuck!" I feel like it's weird. I want it separate, but we obviously use Grindr for two very different things.
Yeah, mine is like friends and networking, and Rico gets trade. I've met a lot of trans men that I've formed friendships with, or trans women that I've formed friendships with, or non-binary people that I've formed friendships with, and just like cis men that I've talked to. You know, it might not like go anywhere. We might not like end up being friends, but like I have had like great conversations with them, and most of them are pretty woke. I definitely have had more of like the bad experiences than Rico has. Mainly just people like reaching out and being like, oh, like, what is your boy do you look like, or what is your like, what genitals do you have, or like I'd love to eat you out, and like those are obviously not fun terms to use with a trans man. Like eating out is disgusting. Like ew. So definitely not cool. Yeah, I've definitely gotten like some that are specifically like trans chaser kind of people that are like asking me different questions about myself because they're only interested in me because of my genitals and like just like gross stuff like that.
And that's one thing that I still kind of struggle with, but I'm kind of getting in a like easier way of going about it. The thing is like when to disclose and to verify that they understand the situation. Like I think mine says trans man. I don't really have a bio, but it says I'm transgender somewhere in the tribes. Trans. That's it. I don't specify. I'm not like FTM, a year on T. I don't say anything, stuff like that. But like when I'm having a conversation with someone, like you can't help but want to make sure they fully understand the situation because they could read it and not really understand, or they couldn't read it at all.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like if they're talking and like getting sexual, it's like let me see a dick pic. That's where it's like, well, fuck. Now I got to figure out how to go about this.
Yeah.
Because they can think you have a cystic or they know you're trans, and that's where it's like hard to navigate. Sometimes I'm like flat out like, I'm trans, right? Or I ask because I want to know. I was like, have you ever been with a trans guy? And
my profile was very upfront. It was like 2 years on testosterone. I'm pre-op. My gender says trans man. My tribe says trans. So like I was very upfront with being trans and hoping that they would like see that and only hit me up if they knew that that was the situation. So I haven't really had to explain except for a few times. Like some people will be like, "Oh, let me suck your cock," and I'm like, "Well, I'm trans, so you can't."
The thing is, though, I would respond to that in the opposite way. Like if they know that I'm trans, okay, you want to suck my cock? Let's talk about it.
Well, yeah, but these are people that are like assuming that I'm cis. Like the people that don't read my profiles are like, because then like as soon as I say I'm trans, they're like, "Oh."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that people are lazy, and this is 2018, and nobody wants to read anymore. Yeah. So even reading like a 2-sentence bio is just too much for people sometimes. Honestly.
That's funny. I've never had anyone like not know, but I don't respond to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, neither do I. I like honestly, I just like to troll some people sometimes, and I think it's funny when I troll the people that are like completely oblivious, because in my profile, like if they don't read it, like I read, I pass, like. You know how much I hate that word, but I pass enough as like a cis dude with like my facial hair and like stuff like that people like might assume that I'm cis if they like literally just like see my face and click message and don't read my bio. They'll probably assume that I'm cis, so they don't care to read anything else. I wasn't optimistic at first when downloading this app as a trans person, but I feel like I'm a lot more optimistic now, like knowing that like if I were to want to use this as a hookup app or a dating app or whatever I want to use it for, I think that it is a viable and safe option for me as a trans person.
Yeah.
I think that it's easy for me to be able to weed out who the chasers are and who the assholes are. I think that most of them are pretty upfront about who they are and what they want. Like a lot of times if they are a chaser, it'll even say that in like their little name. It'll say only looking for TG, like transgender, or only looking for CDs, like crossdressers, or
TS, right?
Or TS, which means transsexual, which again is inappropriate. So if you're using TS on Grindr, stop. Unless you are trans and that's how you identify. If that's what they want to identify, cool. But if you are a cis person saying TS, stop. Yeah, but no, overall, I think that it's a great option for trans people if they are just looking for hookups, because, trans men are horny. Trans women are horny too. Like, why not? Like, fuck it.
I feel like everyone on Grindr, that's, like, where you can be yourself in the most kinky, dirty way. Like, why... You shouldn't, like, it's Grindr. You shouldn't have to hide, like, what you want or what you are.
No,
like,
definitely
be upfront.
People are always upfront. Like, I have gotten some really, really detailed messages from people about what they're exactly looking for, and I have never responded because they have always like frightened me a little bit. I am a prude, not really, but yeah, but no, like definitely people are always like, I am looking for like daddy baby situations, or I'm looking for you to put me in diapers and treat me like a child.
Not
or
that we're yucking anyone's young.
no, definitely not. But I'm just saying, like, people are very, very upfront about what they
Yeah.
want. Or I have a foot fetish. I want to suck
Yeah.
your toes. Like, I've definitely gotten that before. Or
Yeah.
just different stuff like that.
Yeah, there's one dude super into like nipple sucking and smoking. I was like, okay, like
Sure.
you do you, boo boo.
Yeah, but
So yeah, don't think you're like gonna be the only trans person on Grindr. Trust.
no, definitely not. There's actually you can change who you want to see. So, like I said, I was mainly interested in like talking to other trans people and using it as a networking thing. So there's a button called like your tribes, and you can set your tribe to whatever you want to be. So my tribe is trans, and so for the most part, if I click on it, you can set it to my type, and it would be like one of those tribes. So whether it's leather or jock or daddy or like whatever it was, I set mine to trans. So when I open that up, I only see other FTMs or MTFs or non-binary people, and I can like, in that case, I can like talk to them instead of just talking to a bunch of like headless torso cis men, so, which is great because then I can meet more friends, and I have made a lot of friends on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like Rico and I both agree that there's not a lot of like trans men that go out in Austin, so it's kind of hard to meet other trans guys here in town. So this has been like a viable option for me to meet other trans people, and trans people from all over the country, even in like Canada, have hit me up, and like we made friendships like that, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely talked to like at least 2 or 3 people, like 2 or 3 guys that are trans men that live all the way in like Canada somewhere, and we've had great conversations about our lives and stuff like that.
It's so weird to me. I'm not trying to talk to people about my life on Grindr.
I think it's just interesting.
Yeah,
I love learning other people's perspectives, especially if they do live in other parts of the country or live in different countries entirely. Just like you wouldn't get that a lot of other ways unless you're in like a bunch of Facebook groups. So I think that's great. So one of the great things about Grindr trying to be like more inclusive is that they actually go into like huge detail about like your gender identity and your pronouns that you use and stuff like that. And what I really like about it is that like, so say you were to go on gender, you're able to like pick your gender. So you can be like, I'm a cis male, or I'm a trans male, or I'm a trans woman, or I'm non-binary, or I'm gender non-conforming. I've seen everything. You can literally, people can type in whatever they want, and I think that that's great. And then there's like a little button where you can that you can click, and it basically gives you information, and it explains like what is your gender, what does gender identity mean, what does it mean to be cisgender, what does it mean to be transgender, what does it mean to be non-binary, and it has like information for all of these things, which I think is great. Like what does transition mean, what's the difference between trans and intersex, like it's very informative. And like it, I think that's amazing that Grindr was willing to put this entire thing to like teach you the differences between non-binary and cisgender and transgender and intersex and stuff like that. It even has like this one thing where it says like stay safe, and it's like if I'm trans and I'm in trouble, who should I call? So it's like if you were to go to a trade's house and you were gonna hook up with them and they were not cool about you being trans, like it gives you information on like how to get help, how to be safe, which I think is awesome. It also has like frequently asked questions, like what is okay to ask a trans person? Can a trans person be gay? Like is that a thing? Like obviously it is, but some people don't know. And also it's like how can I respectfully ask a trans person what they like sexually? So like that's amazing.
It's fucking everything.
Yeah, like is it okay to ask a trans person their birth name? Like a hookup app is willing to like.
Come on, Grindr.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It even says like, is it okay to ask a trans person about surgeries? Like for the people that don't know, that's amazing.
Well, I think that wraps it up for our experiences on Grindr and thoughts and all that. And we were curious your thoughts if you use dating or hookup apps as a trans person, your experiences. So share them please down below. And you know what to do. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. And we will see you next week, y'all. Bye.
Bye.